Hi guys, welcome to Kashaya with Kumar. Before I talk about today's topic, which is blockchain, personally, I just want to strike a deal with you, right? If you're open to it, I'm selling a car for 50,000 bucks, right? Yes, you heard it right, just for 50,000 bucks. And no, it's not a nano car, right? After you go to the market, where in the world will you find even a second, third, or fourth hand nano car for even 60,000 bucks? But I'm selling you this car which originally cost you 7 lakhs for just 50,000 rupees. And it was bought only recently, some 3-4 years back. But wait. The only confession that I have to make is I don't know who the original owner of the car is. Because I bought it from a friend and that friend bought it from his friend. Alright, and who bought it in turn from his friend? So basically you'll be the fourth or fifth owner of the car, right? But it's in great condition. What? You don't want? Okay, that's understandable. I understand, the space you're coming from. In order to prevent this sort of a deal which is not very safe, because you don't know who the original owner of the car is, we have many of these middlemen, right? The used car companies, the consultancy companies. What do? They ensure that the car that you're getting is it's a legitimate car with a legitimate owner, because many of these cars, it could be owned by we don't know who. It could be a criminal, it could be Osama bin Laden's daughter-in-law, we just don't know. So you better safe than sorry, right? You want to get hold of a car which is absolutely legal, right? Now, these middlemen like the banks and the consulting companies and the used car companies, although they do a great service by making sure that you're in safe hands, while you're buying the product, unfortunately, you are not just paying for the product, but you're also indirectly paying for these middlemen because they're offering you this service. And that happens to be quite a large chunk of the pie, right? So, now what's the solution to this? Which is why the technological industry has come up with something called the blockchain. Now the blockchain, what it does is, it literally replaces the middleman, right? It does the job of the middleman, right? Now let's understand how it works. You have block and chain, right? As the name suggests, you have a block and you have a chain. You have blocks which form a chain, right? So what do these blocks represent? Let's say you make any transaction, you purchase a car, right? Now that car purchasing has a series of transactions that contribute to your buying a car, right? So this thing represents the block. The circles inside represents a series of transactions like going to the bank, availing the loan, producing your PAN card, producing your other card, whatnot, right? And more irritatingly, banging your head against the wall 100 times, standing in that serpentine queue. Part and parcel, right? You cannot help it sometimes, which is a real pain in the neck. I don't understand, but you got to do it. Now, the thing with the blockchain is everything is automated, right? The transactions are represented here. They are timestamped in the database, and then the block is created, right? Let's say this block represents you buying a car today. Now, after a couple of years, maybe you want to buy a bike, because you want to progress in life, right? After buying a car, we buy a bike. So you buy a bike. Next time around you buy a bike, the data over here is intelligent enough to check whatever data you're suggesting right now, saying that hey, my name is Kumar Sema, my PAN number is this, my address is this, right? It is intelligent enough to check it with the previous block, right? So that you don't have to reinvent the wheel of producing all the documents and standing in that irritable queue, right? So this is how it gets automated. Now it's super duper fast. Now this, like I said, this is the block, these are mini transactions. Now this black dot in between two blocks that you see, now they are the real middlemen. They are called the miners. They mine the data basically, they call the miners. They are the ones who check whatever data you're feeding in right now. Let's say next year you're going to buy a house, so you're going to put in some data saying my name is da 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 da. Now the miners are going to check whatever data you fed in vis-a-vis whatever data you had fed in maybe hundreds of previous times when you bought various other things. So if they match, right, if there's a consensus among all the black dots, among all the miners, then they say, hey, let's go ahead. This guy is a legal guy, wants to buy a legal product, he's making a legal transaction. Bam, then now you're good to go and buy your house, right? So that is how the blockchain works. There's blocks and they form a chain, and then there are the miners, and every block has a series of transactions, right? Now, you may ask, well, isn't there a possibility of this being hacked by a criminal? Well, in a utopian world, maybe yes, but practically next to impossible. You know why? Let's say we are in the 101st block now, right? Maybe you're buying maybe a mobile phone or whatever, right? For which you are availing a loan. Right now, the thing that happens is, if a criminal wants to hack, he'll have to create 101 blocks, right? Why 101 blocks? Because you have 100 blocks which are together operating at a certain tremendous snowballed combined speed, right? And the 101 blocks that this criminal is going to create will have to overshadow the combined speed of the previous 100 blocks and be able to create those 101 blocks in a matter of a split second, for which you don't need supercomputer, not just a super duper computer, you need a super duper grouper computer, right, which is never coming to being. So the time, the effort, the intelligence, and more importantly the money that goes into making such an arrangement by the criminal absolutely is rendered useless, because the cost is so much and the profit that he get out of it wouldn't make economic sense, which is why blockchain is an absolutely safe methodology to replace middlemen, right? Then there's another important point. Like I said, the biggest plus is that it simply replaces the middleman. It does all the job that the middleman does, and more importantly, let's take the financial world. And many people are not able to open bank accounts because they want to make very minor transactions, like maybe 2 rupees, 3 rupees, right? Now the bank takes much more than 2 rupees, 3 rupees to give you that service of making the transaction. So the whole purpose of making a transaction is lost, not only for the bank but for you also, right? It costs more than what amount of transaction you're making, which is why blockchain comes in handy. That the moment you have blockchain into the mainstream, now of course the government is notoriously slow, but if and when it does come to the mainstream, you have blockchain performing it free of cost for you, and then you can open a bank account with how much ever amount of money you want. You can transact even as less as 2 rupees to your friend of yours in Delhi at the click of the button without any middleman, and it's profitable. Why? Because you're not spending on the middleman. So this is how, in nutshell, how the blockchain operates. But of course, there's so much more into it. I'm not understating when I say it's a rocket science in itself. But that's for another day. But I hope that you got some sort of an idea of what blockchain is.